Waheguru Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Fateh. Gurumustuk Singh Ji, let's be honest here. You have never responded to the many photographs, videos, and indisputable evidence that I've posted over at least the last 10 years that show the proof how members at your Yogi Bhajan dera are engaged in practicing these un-Sikh-like activities and anti-Gurmat practices. At every opportunity, Gurumustuk, you delete my comments, you call me a liar, you censor me whenever you can on the SikhNet websites. And it seems that now you've become the CEO of SikhNet, that you have this attitude that you and your other Yogi Bhajan dera disciples have been given this entitlement somehow by Yogi Bhajan that you can do whatever you want and not answer to Sikhs. So now that YouTube and Facebook have rejected your demands for this frivolous copyright takedown that you put a claim on me for, isn't it about time that you accept my offer to sit down and discuss these matters like real Sikhs? Now, wouldn't you agree, I believe, and I think most Sikhs would say, that you're doing these demands for a copyright takedown and saying that your pictures cannot be used by me to comment or to make commentary and criticisms? Don't you think that that's just a little bit cowardly, Gurumustuk? I mean, come on, after all, it's the truth. And shouldn't, as Sikhs, we be willing to engage in discussion and come up with a solution to our differences, meeting face to face? I think most Sikhs would agree that this is the way that we can settle our differences and that we can get all of these issues out in the open. So again, I'm going to make this appeal for the umpteenth time that you, Guruka, whoever you want, will sit down with me and other Sikhs who are concerned about this un-Sikh-like path that the 3HO and Yogi Bhajan disciples are on. We sit down and we discuss these matters. I'll bring my evidence and proposals. You can bring your evidence and proposals. And we can sit down and decide and discuss these matters. We can decide at least what our differences are and see how we can work this out. So don't hide behind your keyboard, Gurumustuk. Don't just sit there at your offices there at the Yogi Bhajan dera and rely on Yogi Bhajan's protection. Sit down with me and other Sikhs who are concerned about these issues and we'll resolve these differences. I know you're going to be here in March along with Guruka and Hari Jot. So let's sit down. I'm available to sit down and discuss these things with you. We can have the Sangat there. We can even have a Panj Pyari there for mediation. I'm willing to meet you anywhere and to discuss these matters. Waheguru Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Fateh. Waheguru Khalsa, Waheguru Fateh. Many of you have seen this very disturbing and alarming video that has just been produced by a rock band where they're using Gurbani in order to promote dancing and the Yogi Bhajan, Tantric, and Kundalini Yoga practice to be done with Gurbani. Now, as I said, this is very disturbing. Just listen here for a few seconds to this video that is still on YouTube. Okay, I think you've got the idea. Now, what is disturbing is this whole album was released in order to promote dancing to Gurbani. Here is the webpage for this group. They call the album Kundalini Kritronika, which is inspired, I'm sure, by Yogi Bhajan's teachings. They say as much. It says, these are art grooves. Kritronika merges a dance venue pulse with this Gurbani. It says, this anticipated album is be bumping at yoga fests, yoga studios, divinely attuned house parties across the country. So this album is clearly for the purpose of inspiring people to dance to Gurbani, instigating people to use yoga exercises, tantric and Kundalini yoga exercises in their practice of, and use Gurbani with it. So you can here see the list and the menu for the album, and it includes several shabads from Gurbani. I also want to point out here this narrative that was published by the group. And in this narrative, one of the group members said that she was inspired by Yogi Bhajan. It says here, Kundalini Yoga is taught by Yogi Bhajan, drawing us into the movement through mantras, beats, and live instruments. So all of this has been clearly instigated by Yogi Bhajan and the 3HO people. It's really sad to see this has come to this. So you can just stop this video, or I'll put a link to this web page for the group, and then you can read their entire narrative about this and see how they came to practice this Un Sikh-like disrespect for Gurbani. Now, I want to point out here how SikhNet has directly inspired these people. This was a video that Gurumustuk and Guruka did, I believe it was a few months ago, where they talk about how it's okay to dance to Gurbani. I'll play some of the clips from that video in a second, but first just read some of these excerpts that were written down by the Sikh Free Press in an article which explains how Sikhs in India, Surjit Singh and Wake Up Sikhs, have been promoting a petition to stop these 3HO people and SikhNet from promoting this dancing to Gurbani. Guruka says here, he says, this is about energy in the second tantric yoga chakra. When you're dancing, there's the juice, there's the ecstasy. Understand, sexual energy is sexual energy. Waheguru is ecstasy. Waheguru is dancing. It's just really shameful how SikhNet has been promoting and inspiring these type of dancing to Gurbani. Gurumustuk here says they were chanting Waheguru during that portion of the video, and people were just enjoying and moving around and swinging their bodies. There were all these negative comments. I saw something very different. He was speaking about this rock concert that Sanat Kaur was playing at, where she starts to chant Waheguru, and everybody started dancing. Now here's more proof about how this group has been inspired by Yogi Bhajan. You can see here directly, this was a message that they sent to a Sikh a few days ago. It says here, this mantra in particular we learned through the Kundalini Yoga tradition as taught by Yogi Bhajan. He emphasized a lot of dance and chanting. Thus, where this music was inspired. Part of our work, we feel, is to bridge worlds to new audiences and new age groups. Now, they've taken down the video from Facebook, the one where they're dancing. But the one on YouTube still remains. And I hope that this group really considers completely taking the album off the market that they created. Looks like they might do that, but we'll see. We still need to keep the pressure on and keep telling them that this is completely against Gurmat teachings. Now, this Guruka really has a history of Biadbi against Gurbani. He actually kept Yogi Bhajan's fingernails in his nitnam, or Gut Gasab. This is complete Biadbi against Gurbani. You can read about it in this article that he wrote, this hanging on his fingernails. So Guruka, SikhNet, really has a very poor record, and we should beware of him as Sikhs of the Guru. I'll play for you a little bit of SikhNet's inspirational video here. You can hear what Guruka and Gurmustuk have to say about dancing.
Oftentimes I hear topics about people talking about dancing and how dancing is something that is against the Sikh lifestyle, against the Sikh way of life. And I've thought about this often, and I've gone through other processes on my own looking at this, and some of it had to do with, like, when I was younger and a teenager and I was a certain phase, and I went out to clubs and I was kind of identifying with my own self, and I know many people who go out drinking, and people relate Bhangra and kind of like some of the maybe negative sides of some certain things that are associated with dancing as bad. And then when I think about and there were all these negative comments, and people were like, oh my God, this is wrong, how can they? And I was, whatever is expressing their self in terms of the way that people relate to dancing and what is considered something that is good or bad. Like, we might have a child who in the joy, that's like a religious experience for them. Or even, one of the things that came up recently, there was a video of Sanadam Kaur. She was at a concert in Barcelona, and there were thousands of people there. Most of those, probably very few of them, were Sikhs. And they were chanting Waheguru during that portion of the video, and people were just in joy and moving around and swaying their body, and there were all these negative comments, and people were like, oh my God, this is wrong, how can they?
The whole universe is dancing. Atoms are dancing. Molecules are dancing. The cells in your body are dancing. The energy is dancing. Everything is dancing. Everything is dancing to the Shabad. The whole universe is moving and dancing. Dancing. Dancing is life. This isn't about dancing. This is about somebody's judgment. Does this mean that as you go up and you become 9, 10 on the holy meter, that means you should always sit absolutely seriously and never move around? Because the more still you sit, the holier you are? You think it's disrespectful to move your body? Look, this is about somebody's judgment, about energy in the second chakra. That when you're dancing, there's a juice, there's a flow, the energy is moving, right? And in that, there's an ecstasy. If you want to express that energy through your second chakra, and you want to bump and grind and everything, that's how that energy is coming out. But when you act afraid of it, and you say, that's wrong, that's bad, that's lust, this dancing is wrong, therefore, then it becomes all dancing is wrong. Where do you draw the line between good dancing and bad dancing? Between right dancing and wrong dancing? Right? Then you have to say, well, we'll just say all dancing is bad. That's okay. You can say whatever you want. God is still dancing. That's the nature of God. To be moving, to be dancing, to be in a rhythm, to be in a beat. It's the nature of life. The first shabad that a child hears is the mother's heartbeat. Boom, boom, boom. The beat of the heart, the flow of the blood in the mother. That primal rhythm is embedded in the consciousness and being of the child. So it's music and beat and dancing, all these things are just totally natural part of life. It's just that somebody has made some judgment. This is right, this is wrong, this is holy, this is not holy. Understand, sexual energy is sexual energy. Question is not, you should do it or shouldn't do it. Question is, what are you doing? Are you doing it consciously? Are you understanding what's happening? Are you experiencing it with joy? Are you creating some pain through doing it? Are you manipulating somebody through doing it? All of this is about intent and about understanding the energy of your own body, not about somebody's opinion about what's right and what's wrong.
Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh. My name is Gursant Singh, and today I will be giving a response to the SikhNet director and founder, Gurumustuk Singh, who has posted a message on SikhNet recently. Dear Gurumustuk Singh Ji, in reading your recent article, you make some points that need to be answered. You say, and I'm quoting Gurumustuk Singh, detractors will try to tell me how yoga is against Sikhi without even understanding what I practice and the practical benefits of it to a householder. End quote from Gurumustuk. And then I respond, there's nothing to understand. Yogi Bhajan's tantric yoga, as he taught it and you still practice it, is against Sikhi. Always was and always will be. Read the SRM, the Sikh Rehat Maryada. The Rehatnamas of Bhai Daya Singh Ji and Bhai Nan Lal Ji, that a Khalsa should not practice any tantric yoga asanas, yantras, mantras, and tantras. Sikhs may hold differing opinions on physical yoga asanas, such as some of the Kundalini yoga that you practice. Some believe it is totally against Sikhi, others believe it is fine as long as it is regarded as an exercise for fitness. But they all agree on this. Tantric yoga asanas and the tantras and mantras of Yogi Bhajan are not a part of Sikhi. Dr. Gursant Singh outlined this quite clearly in a book after spending months with Yogi Bhajan in the late 1970s. I'm sure by now you've at least heard of his book, Sikhism and Tantric Yoga, which I encourage you to read, if for no other reason, to try and understand how most of the Sikh world views Yogi Bhajan, 3HO, and the un-Sikh-like practices Yogi Bhajan taught you and you so stubbornly are attached to. Here is a link where you can download the book for free as a PDF, and I'll put this in the description to the video. Then you say, Gurumustuk, and I quote Gurumustuk Singh here again, Then there are some people who have so much anger or hate inside themselves that they have made it their mission to slander, spread false and misleading information, making every attempt to put down Siddhi Singh Sahib, Harbhajan Singh, Khalsa, and Sikhs from Western origin in a supposed attempt to save others from us, as if they know the right way. And now when Gurumustuk refers to this Siddhi Singh Sahib, this is Yogi Bhajan. This Siddhi Singh Sahib was this fake name that Yogi Bhajan made up and the Bhajanists still use. Then I say to Gurumustuk, well, there's a great deal of judgment here on your part. Does it not occur to you that rather than hate, there are a lot of people who feel extremely concerned about the way that Yogi Bhajan's Sikh Dharma and 3HO are practicing a form of Sikhi that is not congruent with the SRM and is moving further away on a daily basis? Now, I have put slides and pictures here for you to view which show a lot of these un-Sikh-like practices, and we'll go over some of those specifically after I finish this statement to Gurumustuk. Gurumustuk, does it ever occur to you that these individuals feel the need to point these un-Sikh-like practices out? Can you not see that this attempt to set the record straight is not motivated by hate, but by a genuine concern for the future of Sikhi? I see this concern on Sikh discussion groups from all around the world. Many Sikhs are genuinely worried about the direction that 3HO and Sikh Dharma are taking, as you can read on this forum. And I've put a link to one of these Sikh forums. Furthermore, false and misleading information can easily be defeated with facts. I have yet to see you, SikhNet or other SD members, meet any of this so-called false and misleading information with facts. Your usual response is to either ignore the info, delete it from the forum if you have the power to do so, or to indulge in what is called an ad hominem attack, to attack the character of the messenger. This is what you are doing in your article when you say, there are some people who have so much anger or hate inside themselves. How do you know, Gurumustuk, that they are motivated by hate? How do you know that they are not genuinely concerned? Has SikhNet never responded to legitimate concerns by Sikhs that Yogi Bhajan was given Hindu last rites by his wife, Inderjeet Kaur Putty, and many 3HO members participated in Rishikesh, as Anju Kaur at the Sikh Free Press so clearly revealed in her article published almost 4 years ago, now because SikhNet believes the story is false? Or that you think Anju Kaur is engaging in a hate campaign? Now, Gurumustuk, about knowing the right way. As you know, Sikh is a path of discipline, and there are rules. Of course, Sikhs are very independent people, and over the centuries, many different interpretations of the rules set up by Guru Sahib sprang up. Thus, in the early part of the 20th century, a document was produced with the approval of the SGPC and the Panth called the Sikh Rehat Maryada. It codified all the different rules and customs of Sikhi into a form that was approved by the SGPC and the Panth. Many respected Sikh saints and scholars contributed to its creation. It is readily available in Punjabi and in English, and may even be posted on SikhNet. It's really very simple, Gurumustuk. Either you follow the SRM or you don't. For example, the SRM specifically prohibits the veneration of any graves or monuments erected to honor the memory of a deceased person. Yet we have seen the followers of Yogi Bhajan who now want to create a huge bronze murti, 10-foot high murti of Yogi Bhajan, and you see the Bhajanist bowing to his memorial in Espanola, as was done in the elaborate 4-day celebration 3HO and Sikh Dharma hosted at Yogi Bhajan's ranch in October 2014. Now again, in this video, you'll see the letter that this Sikh Dharma International sent out, which is promoting this fundraiser to build this 10-foot high bronze murti of Yogi Bhajan, which will be placed at his death spot and used for murti puja. They want to raise $82,000 to build this murti. It's really appalling. So, Gurumustuk. SRM also prohibits the performance of home, the Hindu ritual, lighting of ritual fire, and pouring intermittently clarified butter, food grains, etc. into it for propitiating gods for fulfillment of a purpose. There's ample evidence on the internet of Yogi Bhajan's longtime students and family members who call themselves Sikhs and use Singh, Kar, and Khalsa in their names, not only participating in this ritual, but organizing and publicizing it. This is simply not allowed by SRM. To do these kind of things flaunts the very intent of SRM and offends the sensibilities of devout Sikhs. When this is brought to your attention by concerned individuals, your response is to say that this is an interfaith event. No, Gurumustuk, it is a Hindu worship of their fire god. You Gurumustuk say they spread false info saying we regard Yogi Bhajan as our guru. So this is Gurumustuk telling people like me and other concerned Sikhs that we are spreading false info saying we regard Yogi Bhajan as their guru. My response is, well, apart from the fact that Yogi Bhajan was heard to refer to himself as the guru on more than one occasion, and I want to just comment on that. I heard Yogi Bhajan say to their Khalsa council, he said, I am, as far as you are concerned, I am the guru. That's what he said in this Khalsa council meeting. He was very angry, shouting at the Khalsa council and his Khalsa council, and he says, as far as you're concerned, I am the guru. That's what he said. Then there's also an article on the Sikh Free Press where Gursant Singh experienced where Yogi Bhajan told him that he was the guru. So several people, I know them personally, heard Yogi Bhajan say that he was the guru. Gursant Singh talks about this in an article. You can read about it there at the Sikh Free Press. So, well apart from the fact that Yogi Bhajan was heard to refer to himself as the guru on more than one occasion, let us take as a frame of reference a report recently published from the recent Khalsa Council meeting. This report was by SS Guru Jot Kar Khalsa, Secretary General, Sikh Dharma International, Khalsa Council, dated November 5th, 2014. It's right here, this copy of the picture of the report, screenshot of the report, just went by in the video. Now, the Khalsa Council is supposed to be a representative body whose function is to guide the Bhajanist Panth. And we will refer to the Yogi Bhajan disciples as the Bhajanists, because that's what they are. They follow Yogi Bhajan, and they should be called Bhajanists. I say that because there's never anyone, talking about the Khalsa Council, there's never anyone on this Khalsa Council who is not a Bhajanist, which makes the name Khalsa Council presumptuous, to say the least. Nevertheless, let us examine the report by way of noting the number of times certain words were used. Here are the numbers. Siddhi Singh Sahib, which is this fake name again for Yogi Bhajan, or Yogi Bhajan, was used 31 times in this Khalsa Council letter. Guru Ram Das Ji was used 6. All other Guru Sahib, including the Siddhi Guru Granth Sahib Ji, was used 0 times. Khalsa Council was used 22 times. Khalsa, other than Khalsa Council, was used 0 times. The word Panth was used once. Siddhi Singh Sahib's teachings was used 6 times. The word yoga was used 6 times. The word Gurbani was used 0 times, and the word Simran was used 0 times, and the word Seva was used 0 times. So, the so-called Khalsa Council report does not actually mention the Khalsa. It does not mention Guru Nanak Sahib Ji, nor any of the other Guru Sahibans, save Guru Ram Das Ji. It does not mention Siddhi Guru Granth Sahib, yet it manages to mention Yogi Bhajan 31 times. Yoga and Yogi Bhajan's teachings each have 6 mentions, but Gurbani, Simran, and Seva have none. The report closes by saying, and I quote this Khalsa Council report, "In closing, the meetings we did the Tritakam meditation together, and members shared how the Siddhi Singh Sahib touched our lives." End quote. Now, for all of you who are not familiar with this Tritakam meditation, this is the one where the Bhajanists meditate by staring at Yogi Bhajan's picture. And I'll put a link to a YouTube video which shows how they do this meditation. So instead of finishing the meetings with an ardas, finishing this Khalsa meetings with an ardas, and then Hukam Nama of Guru Sahib Ji, this Khalsa Council, Yogi Bhajan's Khalsa Council, finished with a meditation on Yogi Bhajan's picture. Gurumustuk. Yogi Bhajan may not be a guru to you in name, but your actions show that you regard him as such. The true Khalsa of Guru Gobind Singh Ji would never, ever, ever engage in such Un Sikh-like practices. Gurumustuk, you say, "When I was a teenager and finding my way, I went through a phase of experimentation with drugs, alcohol, smoking, partying, etc. If my family, friends, and community cast me out during this time, then I would be a very different person than I am today." Gurumustuk, no one wants to cast you out. Neither you nor your fellow 3HO and Sikh Dharma companions. I don't understand what your point is here. Are you suggesting that you and the other Yogi Bhajan students are experimenting with your own version of Sikhi, and we should just tolerate you until you have run your course? Well, Gurumustuk, the experiment in Sikhi has been going on for 45 years, and it's time to get real. There are many un-Sikh-like practices that in which you all participate that we regular Sikhs would be derelict in our duty if we did not at least attempt to guide you to live by true Sikh values. Much as your family must have tried to show you that your adolescent ways were ultimately destructive. If you, Gurumustuk, really want to pursue this metaphor of Yogi Bhajan's students being like adolescents, misbehaving, then I would remind you that teenagers are notoriously unreceptive to advice, no matter how well-meaning. Perhaps, Gurumustuk, that is why SikhNet deletes any posts that are in any way critical of Yogi Bhajan, 3HO, or Sikh Dharma. Gurumustuk Singh, we regular Sikhs simply want you to change your ways to align with the Sikh Rehat and drop these Yogi Bhajan-inspired un-Sikh-like practices. Such things as tantric yoga, astrology, the crazy mantras that Yogi Bhajan made up. Guru Yoga, staring at Yogi Bhajan's photo, as we showed in this video. This practice of Hindu pujas, the wearing of gemstones for power and energy, and the keeping of Yogi Bhajan's fingernails in Gutka Sahibs, as Guruka Singh, the director of SikhNet, professes to do. There are many of these practices, un-Sikh-like practices, that are going on there. And I've been showing, again, doing yoga in the Darbar Sahib, the placement of Yogi Bhajan's tantric photos and paintings inside the Darbar of the Siddhi Guru Granth Sahib. These are all practices that we want the Bhajanists to stop. So this list can go on and on for a long time, but all these things have no place in Sikhi. So, in conclusion, Gurumustuk, we have no illusions this will be easy, nor will it happen overnight, nor perhaps anytime soon. But we are not going to go away. We too have dedicated our lives to Sikhi, and it wounds us deeply to see our beautiful path being warped and twisted. We will be watching and will be reminding you of how our beloved Guru Sahib told us to live our lives. How you react, Gurumustuk, to this is, of course, your choice. So let's go through some of these pictures here, and I'll try to explain some of them to you. You can see this is that Tritakam meditation photo. This is the quote from the Khalsa Council meeting newsletter, where they say that they meditated on the Tritakam meditation picture of Yogi Bhajan instead of doing Ardas. Right here you can see this is a screenshot from their Khalsa Council meeting. This was in 2014. It says here, in closing the meetings, we did the Tritakam meditation together. Members shared how Sri Singh Sahib touched our lives. And this is the front cover of that screenshot of that International Khalsa Council report. Highlights from the fall 2014 meetings. You can see it there again, they're meditating on his Tritakam photo, Yogi Bhajan's photo. This is a large tantric painting that is in the Darbar Sahib of Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji, and you can see them doing Prakash here. This is in Espanola, New Mexico, and this huge 10-foot high painting looms over the Darbar Sahib there in Espanola. You can see another shot there of it. This again is that large painting. Now all of these organizations are tied together. This is something important to note. SikhNet, 3HO, all of these organizations, my understanding is that they pool all of their donations. So when you give donations to SikhNet, they go to all these organizations. Don't let them fool you. SikhNet has plenty of money. They don't need your money. They get all these grants and everything from Yogi T and the Akal Security. That's all the time we have time for now. But I hope you write to Gurumustuk and tell them to stop all these practices. Thank you for your time. Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Gurumustuk Singh Ji, you have been insulting me publicly for many years now with your comments on the internet that say that I am a liar and I'm misleading Sikhs about the anti-Sikh practices that are going on there at the Yogi Bhajan dera. So now it is time for you to put up or shut up. That's why I am challenging you here today to a face-to-face debate or discussion, whatever you want to call it, where we sit down and video record in front of the Sikh Sangat our different arguments. Here is your opportunity to become more than just an internet warrior. Here is a chance for you to put up your arguments in front of mine, face-to-face, where we can show the entire worldwide Sikh Sangat who's telling the truth. So Gurumustuk Singh, we can either sit down in New Mexico where you live and have an old-fashioned Western showdown at high noon, or we can meet here in the UK where I am right now, have a spot of tea together, or we could even meet in Kenya in Africa, where you're going to be this weekend. You can have a rumble in the jungle. I don't care where we meet, but we have an obligation, you have an obligation, I have an obligation to show the worldwide Sangat who is telling the truth here. Now, I put, for your convenience and the convenience of others who may be watching this video, a video that I made a few months back showing all of the Sikh Rehat Maryada violations, the different un-Sikh-like practices that are going on there at the Yogi Bhajan dera. This was a video where I addressed your article called Universal Sikhi, where you made specific references to how people like me are waging what you call a hate campaign against your community and the Yogi Bhajan dera. Gurumustuk Singh, we don't hate you. All we want to do is see the truth. We want to bring you into the correct Khalsa way, the correct Sikh path. That's all we want to do, Gurumustuk. So watch this video again and get back to me. You can message me on Facebook, on YouTube. I'll even put my email address and my phone number in the description to this video. Call me. Let's sit down. Let's have a face-to-face discussion like grown-up human beings, like grown-up and mature Sikhs. Waheguru Khalsa, Waheguru Fateh.